Shalom, shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and the glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops, a great millstone that rule well, and peace and blessing be multiplied on all you brethren, teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the 144,000, and the rest of the men, women, and children that will receive mercy from the Lord in these last days. I'm the brother Dama Agabar, here with another lesson, Lord willing to edify through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai. All right, and I was listening to the elder brother Yashawamba's video, Genesis Israelites, when trying to be too deep goes wrong. And as you know, the topic has been on these guys for this week as them saying that, the lake of fire and, the lake of fire is not America, but Bozrah, which is the land of Edom. All right, which is definitely not true. And the elder brother was going into some information, very good information, edifying information in this lesson, just dealing, of how, the land of Bozrah, Edom's actual inheritance, his land will be inherited and, ultimately occupied by Israel. And he goes into how the time of David, how, King David conquered Edom and put garrisons, they conquered that land, and they've ultimately put it to good use because it was very strategic in this location as being, for trade, for spices. It was basically, in line with the King's Highway, which is a very vital and very, wealthy, place and a port that, can be utilized, and that could be ultimately, a way for us to expand King David's empire and his wealth. And it's going to be the same thing, after Esau, Edom, America, which is the modern day Bozrah, which is Babylon the Great, America, which links with the destruction of Esau, Edom, and the ultimate, destruction of Bozrah, which is America, not the actual land of Bozrah, Edom's inheritance, because that's going to be inhabited and taken over by the Israelites after Esau, Edom is judged and destroyed, and he's Obadiah, 1:19. All right, and ultimately too, one thing I'm gonna show you is that the punishment that these Genesis guys are trying to, put upon the actual land of Bozrah, the land of Edom, doesn't fit the crime. All right. And I'm going to show you that. Let me show you this real fast. I went to Chat GPT, right? And I typed in, did the Israelites serve captivity in the land of Edom, Bozrah? And this is what Chat GPT says. Says there is no biblical or historical evidence that the Israelites served captivity in the land of Edom or Bozrah, or in the same way they did in what? Egypt, Babylon, or Assyria. And it's not America spiritually Egypt. It's not this place spiritually Babylon the Great, which is being ran by who? Esau, Edom in these last days, man. You see? So it's telling you here that we never. All right, Salakia. Kids be bugging, man. So it says here, number one, Bozrah in Edom, what and where? It says Edom was a kingdom southeast of Israel, inhabited by the descendants of Esau's Jacob brother. Bozrah was one of Edom's chief cities. Read Isaiah 34:6 and Jeremiah 49:13. And like the brother was going into in his lesson, it shows you that King David conquered these lands. All right. And he put it to use. He put garrisons in Edom. It was vital for trade. It was vital for, a strategic location to bring wealth and expansion and to protect our southern border. All right. So that was a very important and very vital piece of land. We never served captivity there. We never went to the land of Edom and served brutal captivity as we did in what? Egypt, Babylon, or Syria, or in the spiritual Egypt, Babylon, or Syria, which is America. And when you read the judgment of Isaiah 34 and Jeremiah 49, which I'm going to go to, the actual land of Bozrah doesn't really fit that crime. There's no need to destroy that land because we never served brutal captivity there. It's talking about modern day spiritual Bozrah, which is Babylon the Great, America. So stop listening to these guys, man. They're going off. They're trying to reinvent the wheel. They're trying to establish themselves as some type of authority in the scriptures. But like as the elder brother was saying, they're going the path of Esau, Edom. They're trying to use Esau's logic and Esau's breakdowns to try to establish themselves, which is making them look stupid. So it says here, number 2, captivity or exile in Edom. There's no record in the Bible of a national captivity of Israelites in Edom or Bozrah. So why the hell is the Lord going to rain down fire and such brutal judgment on and it become a lake of fire when we never even serve captivity there? Let me show you something real fast. All right. This is Baruch chapter 4, verse 30. It says, take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee. Miserable are they that afflicted thee and rejoiced at thy fall. Miserable are the cities which thy children serve. Well, like I'm reading here, we never served captivity in the land of Bozrah or the land of Edom. So why is it going to be such a miserable judgment coming to the actual land of Bozrah and the land of Edom when we never even served captivity there? There's no record of us ever serving hardcore bondage under Esau in the land of Edom. So why the hell are you guys trying to link that judgment with Bozrah? You see? That Bozrah is talking about is Babylon the Great, America. It says 32, miserable are the cities which thy children served. Miserable is she that received thy sons. And who received us in these last days is this spiritual Egypt, and spiritual Egypt, which is America, man. It says, for as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. For I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude, and her pride shall be turned into mourning. And where is the most prideful place on this planet right now in these last days? Is America, Babylon the Great, under whose rulership? Esau, Edom. It says, for fire shall come upon her from the everlasting, long to endure, and she shall be inhabited of devils for a great time. That sounds like a judgment of Babylon the Great, America. Not the actual land of Bozrah, Esau, Edom, like it's read here. We never served there. So your judgment, your judgment and your situation doesn't fit the crime. The land of Bozrah doesn't fit the crime that you're trying to place upon it because we never served captivity there. Look at this. It says the Bible does record conflict between Israel and Judah and Edom. Example given 2 Kings 8:20 and Obadiah. It says Edom at times rebelled against Judah or was subjugated by them, but not the reverse in terms of a formal captivity. Which, they had us in captivity here in Babylon the Great. But the point I'm making, they never had us in captivity in their actual land of Bozrah. You see, it says prophetic warning and judgment. Isaiah 63 and Jeremiah 49 speak of divine judgment coming against Edom and Bozrah, which is what? Spiritually America. It says Obadiah condemns Edom for their violence against Judah, especially during the Babylonian conquest, right, when they said raise it to the very foundations. Edom is accused of taking advantage of Judah's downfall, but not of taking them captive themselves, which they did, but not in the actual land of Bozrah or in the actual land of Edom. They had us captive in the Greek captivity. They had us captivity during the Roman Empire and in this modern day Roman Empire here in Babylon the Great, America. It says some symbolic interpretations or non-canonical texts might refer to Edom or Bozrah metaphorically, but these are not historical accounts of captivity. It says in the end time prophecy, Bozrah appears as a location of divine vengeance, but again, this is symbolic, right? It's it's actually true, but it's symbolic in the fact that the Lord. Well, let me say this. It's when it says Bozrah, when Yahweh Shai coming back into that modern day Bozrah, it's not going to be in the physical land of Bozrah. It's going to be here in Babylon the Great, America, which is spiritually Bozrah and Edom. So let's get this real fast. This is Isaiah 34 and 8. It says, see something. Let me read it. I got to read it. Lucky. Here we go. Let me get this. Is Isaiah 34 and let me see. I'll start at 4. It says, and all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as the falling fig from the fig tree. And what's going to dissolve it? This nuclear missiles, which is going to be upon Babylon the Great, America. It says, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. The sword of Yahweh is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with blood and lambs of goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For Yahweh have a sacrifice in Bozrah, and a great slaughter in the lamb of Idumea. You see? But it's not talking about the actual land. It's talking about here in America, which is spiritually known as Bozrah. Like I read earlier, there's no record of us ever having to serve captivity in the actual land of Edom. Like I read in that like I read here in Baruch, which of those cities that received us are going to be miserable? Here in America, in Babylon the Great. You see, it says here, miserable are the cities which thy children serve. Miserable is she that received thy sons. Actual land of Bozrah and Edom never received us in captivities, fools. It's talking about spiritually Babylon the Great, America. It says, for as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad of thy fall, so she shall be grieved for her own desolation. For I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude, and her pride shall be turned into mourning. For fire shall come upon her from everlasting, long to endure, and she shall be inhabitant of devils for a long time. This is the same judgment that I'm reading here, if you're reading it with understanding. Right? And that sacrifice that he has in Bozrah and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea is here in Babylon the Great, man. It says, and the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. For it is the day of Yahweh's vengeance, and the year of recompense for the controversy of Zion. And the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch. That's talking about America. It says, and it shall not be quenched night nor day. The smoke thereof shall go up forever. From generation to generation it shall lie waste. But wait a minute. Scriptures say that we're going to possess the land of Esau, Edom. All right. Like I said, King David possessed the land of Esau, Edom, and we can see with such great riches and such a great strategic place that it provided King David in his campaigns, man. You see, and this is Amos 9:11. In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. Did not King David, when he was ruling, did not he possess the land of Esau, Edom? Did not he put garrisons? Did not he subjugate and enslave the Edomites and turn the land of Edom into a very rich and prosperous, expansion to the kingdom of Israel? So why would that land be completely and utterly destroyed when the Lord is going to restore David and everything that he had back unto him? And it says here, what? That they may possess the remnant of Edom. And when it says the remnant of Edom, it's talking about the land, his inheritance, man. We're going to possess that land. All right. Just like King David did. Because what? It's prime real estate. It's the king's highway. And the scriptures tell you that when we're in our kingdom, that our gates are going to be open continually. You don't think that the land of Edom in its strategic position and its ports is not going to be used to bring in a lot of those riches? You don't think we're going to use the resources and, the goodness of that land to our own benefit? Because Esau Edom ain't going to need it anymore because he's going to be ultimately destroyed. All right. It says that they may possess the remnant of Edom and all the heathen which are called by my name, saith Yahweh that doeth this. You see? So you guys are totally going the hell off, man. And like I said, your punishment for the actual land of Bozrah and Edom doesn't fit the crime. We never served captivity there. We never caught hell in the land of Edom. Like it says here, there is no biblical or historical evidence that the Israelites served captivity in Babylon. And like I just read, again, here in Baruch, man, it tells you that the city that we serve and that took us captive and that we have to serve in is going to be burnt with fire from the with fire upon it, which is what? The destruction of Babylon the Great, America, man. Let me get that. And I'm going to close this out, man. What is that, Isaiah 13? Yeah. Let me see. Here we go. This is behold, Babylon will fall to the Medes. And what is this modern day Babylon? America, which we serve captivity in. It says, behold, I will stir up the Medes, which is the Russians, against them, which shall not regard silver. And as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare. And Babylon, or America, or AKA the modern day Bozrah, the land of Edom, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees excellently shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. And we know ancient Babylon was not thrown down in this fashion. All right. It wasn't destroyed with fire. So what Babylon is this talking about, man? You see? It says, and it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. And this sounds very similar to the judgment that the Lord has prepared for Esau, Edom, that great sacrifice in the land of Idumea, Bozrah. All right. It says, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold, but wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there, and the wild beasts of the island shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant palaces, and her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. All right. And this Babylon is talking about America, Babylon the Great. All right, aka spiritually the land of Edom and Bozrah. All right, the judgment fits perfectly with this place, not the actual land of Bozrah or Edom. All right, so why the hell would the cities of Esau, Edom, and Bozrah be miserable when our children or us never served in those lands, man? And like I said, and if the Lord's going to restore David back to what he had before, why would he not include the land of Edom with his very... Matter of fact, let me get some of the brothers' video. And I'm going to close it.
Land of Edom. Yes, King David did conquer the land of Edom according to biblical account. This conquest was a significant part of David's military campaign, because what's in the land of Edom that's very important to being a king and a ruler is, all right, the King's Highway. So according to these guys, that's all going to be destroyed. Okay? Showing you these guys, again, when trying to be too deep goes wrong, man. You can read 2 Samuel 8, 13 through 14. All right. And David made a name for himself when he returned from striking down 18,000 Edomites in the Valley of Salt. Then he put garrisons in Edom. Throughout all Edom, he put garrisons, and the Edomites became his servants. And he took over that land. Okay. Garrisons. David established military outposts to maintain control. All right. 1 Kings 11, 15 through 16 describes how Joab, David's military leader, stayed in Edom 6 months, killing every male, which shows how complete and brutal the subjugation was. So again, the scriptures are saying it's going to raise up the tabernacle of David as in the days of old. How could that mean salvation for the heathen? Strategic and political importance of conquering the land of Edom secured Judah's southern border, all right, gave Israel control of trade routes, especially the King's Highway, and access to Ezion-Geber, the Red Sea port. Humiliated a longtime rival, descended from Esau, reinforcing David's image as the divinely favored king. Okay? So yes, David did conquer Edom, subjugated its people, and installed military garrisons to maintain control. This gave him economic advantage, territorial expansion, security of Israel's southern border, making Edom one of the more critical victory in David's reign. So when we get in the kingdom, the same thing is going to happen. Okay, but according to these guys, that region is going to be a desolation where no man dwells, pursuant to Isaiah 34, showing you they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Okay, again, then my people living in Negev will occupy the mountains of Edom. Okay, that right there is showing you this landmass ain't going to be desolate where no man dwells. If we're going to occupy it, what the hell you think we're going to occupy it for? For the same purposes that David occupied it, man. Okay?
Boom. So I'm going to close it there, man. So all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai. Lord willing, this was edifying. Until the next one, shalom.